Good episode. I like it. I guess my first instinct is to say I'm very confused. There's a lot going on here. I feel like they did a pretty piss poor job of letting us know why the vote ended up how it is, but I think I've kind of figured it out. I think the thing here is like it seems like the split was just a farce. They didn't actually or didn't never really had the intent of splitting, they being the purple tribe. It looks like to me that the split never happened, and it was in fact just all 6 votes on Kane. But someone must have put a vote on Jamie just to put a vote on Jamie, I guess, just randomly. And so we saw basically what should have been a split vote with the Ratus and the Tikas ended up just being 1 vote for Danny and 2 for 3 for Heidi. So that's what 4 people who stayed in on it, right? Was it Jam Jam? Did you think who stayed in, or who was it, Sky?
Oh,
Sky.
I don't know.
Jam Jam won it. Kane gone.
I know
right.
Jam. Okay, so
right. But it doesn't matter because at the end of the day, like Jam Jam could still vote for.
I can tell you who voted for who if you're wondering.
Yeah, go ahead. That's why I was asking you.
Yeah, so Carolyn voted for Kane. Carson voted for Kane. Danny, Heidi, and Yamin did. And then the Heidi votes were. This is really weird. It was 2 of the 3 Heidi votes were Jamie's because she used the extra vote, and then Franny voted for Heidi. That's weird. And Kane voted for Danny, and then Heidi voted for Jamie.
Wait, Franny voted for Heidi?
Yes.
That makes no sense.
No. It can't be Franny vote for Heidi.
That's what it says on the official thing. That's what it says. The vote.
Official what?
That's what it says on the freaking Survivor wiki thing or whatever.
Okay, well, obviously they made a typo.
I mean, I don't know. It could be, and it's not edited. Why? That's the reason.
No. But that's so ridiculous that it doesn't really make sense at all.
I'm pretty sure they're right.
All right, let us know in the comments if Franny voted for Heidi.
Yeah, that can't be right. Hold on. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's right. You
Well, you have to understand this person on the wiki has about like a half a second for each person.
They've been doing it forever.
I get it, and I'm sure they've made mistakes in the past. I'm sure that they'll edit it. I would have to guess that we had 4 votes for Heidi, or was it 3?
Yeah, y'all in the comments. Okay, if y'all saw the little like after part, whatever.
People are saying she did not vote for.
Thank you, Sky. Thank you, chat. Thank you. There's no way fucking Franny voted for.
Well, like
that'd be the biggest left field. Bad editing.
Yeah, there's bad and there's just not real. That's just not real. That's not the truth.
That's right, Sky. Everyone makes a mistake.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
I'm refreshing the page to see if they're gonna fix.
Right, I mean they obviously just got it wrong. But I guess what ended up happening here is that really the Tika and Soka tribe just voted together, and one person voted with the split vote that the Ratu people thought was happening. Probably that one person voted for Heidi. I'm guessing that one person is Carolyn or Jam, probably Jam Jam, considering his track record of voting for the wrong side but doing it on purpose. So if I had to
Carolyn votes wrong on purpose too sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to guess, just before seeing it, based on the edit and like what I've kind of just been rationalizing in my head, it seems like we saw Jam Jam and all of Ratu vote for Danny and Heidi. Like the 3 in 1, and then the rest of the people in the game just voted Kane, right? With one Jamie vote thrown off on some rando.
No, Jamie voted for Heidi twice. I know that for sure.
Jamie
voted for, the extra vote.
Okay. So then if she voted for, it makes sense. There was all of the Ratus with Jamie's extra vote is 4 votes, and they voted 3 for Heidi and 1 for Danny. Then out of these 6 people who voted in the majority, we saw 1 throw away their vote on Jamie, and the rest of them vote for Kane. So all 6 did actually stay together here. There was no like farce votes thrown out to save face here. So we saw all 6 again, Tika and Soka staying together here, which I actually don't mind. I feel like we kind of needed another Ratu out because, as we know, they've gotten worse edits. Now I do wish it wasn't Kane. I mean, he's the one who's the most entertaining out of all of them. Although I do like this like blindside edit that they're really pushing on Jamie. They made her look so dumb with that confessional. Oh my god, they made her look like an idiot. It was so fun. She's like, and I still have the idol. Like what?
Yeah,
Hold
it's
on,
not hard to
so-
make her look like an idiot.
Just
I
to
mean-
clear some things up. So they on the wiki they mixed the Lauren and Franny votes. So Lauren voted for Heidi. So that's where the third Heidi vote came from.
Okay,
And
so
then,
then watch. It's Jamie voted twice for Heidi.
Yep.
Lauren once for Heidi.
Yep.
We then saw Kane vote for Danny.
Yep.
And then everybody else votes for Kane except for some person out of that 6.
Franny voted for Jamie.
There you go. Boom. Exactly.
Was the Jamie
Got it.
vote.
Okay. We got it. You know what? As bad as that
So
was, as far as like,
5-3-1-1 vote.
correct. As confusing as that was, there's been votes in the past where I've actually sat down, really thought about it, rationalized it, and just could not like figure out who voted for who and why. So the fact that after some thinking and some reviewing, it took us about 5 minutes to get it. I'm not going to go after the episode as hard as I thought I was for editing that in a confusing way. It is a confusing vote, and it'd be tough to explain why. For an example, Franny throws her vote on Jamie. Like that's just too specific.
I mean,
I think it was
wasn't like
understandable.
tribal, so
Yeah,
I think it was understandable from why Kane went home, though.
Yes, definitely. To me, the two people that would have been understandable is Kane and Danny. I was convinced it was Danny, and they totally fake me out. Just because every chance that this episode that they've shown Danny, they've just given him like this like asshole.
Yeah,
edit,
I thought
which
he
is,
was
like,
going.
Yeah, just because like I'm talking like. Even at tribal, when like he's like, by the way, what he's saying is 100% true. Like this is a game, like you're getting the rice for yourself. This is not for the tribe, quote unquote, whatever.
Yeah, but you
like,
can't say that today. To these, the kind of people Survivor cast are all going to be.
But no. But at the end of the day, what he's saying is true. But he got a horrible edit. And he was shown to be an asshole there because it seemed like they showed him like, and they edited it in a really aggressive tone, and then they cut to Kane being very calm and speaking on, and he's like, no, I disagree. I think it's all about how you see it to the tribe, and so I feel like that was not good at all for Danny's edit. No. I after this episode, I had said before, Danny could win by maybe a miracle if he went on a run. I think he's lost his chances.
Danny's kind of stupid. Like,
I don't think he's. I disagree.
Am I allowed to say the R star on this?
Retarded.
You're canceled for even thinking about it.
I don't know, like if YouTube's gonna demonetize. But like,
you know what? I would just
to get a what's that? The purple tribe out was like that's not a terrible idea, right?
It isn't.
So,
but
and he was like, that is illogical.
At the end of the day,
Franny,
who looks smarter? But who looks smarter now? Because now I feel like it's like it worked out now. Like someone like Kane is out. So now Danny looks probably smarter there because now if they want to work with Lauren and Jamie, who have been burned by the Tikas twice, it's perfect now for them. And on top of that, they got to get out Kane here. Whereas if you go with Franny's idea here, then let's say it works, right? You get out Jam, whatever. Yeah, and then it's what 3-3 Ahsoka and Ratu, and then 2 Tikas. Now those 2 Tikas become super valuable. But now I really yes, exactly. It makes them even more powerful, which is
based on
which is not
preview
what you
from
want.
next episode. Seems like
they're going to work together.
No, right, it seems like no. Heidi was like, I like Danny or something, but like I might have to get rid of him or something like that.
Yeah, but then we saw both of them say we should get together and get out the Tika. To me, I feel like I almost thought that they were going to pull the gun this episode and do it, but they're definitely doing it. At least in the next 2 episomes, if not,
as long as the Ahsoka and Ratu wake up and realize that Tika are the problem,
right? And that's probably what's going to happen next episode. But it works perfectly because now Danny, although he was edited bad in that scene to look stupid for shooting down Franny's idea, he looks a lot smarter now, obviously, because
I think it's part of the downfall of his edit because he's like they just paid him saying, Franny, that's illogical. Like, oh my god,
that's illogical. But which is like it is like again, this is exactly how I feel like I would be on the island where I would say something very, very, very true. and then they would just make it look like you just said that men can be women and women can be men, like just like something just completely out of blue.
This is why I hate transgender people. Like, oh my
whoa,
God, that's basically what they're gonna edit you to say. Like,
right? Yeah, true.
They're gonna
you're
swap
right,
out the words, and they're gonna make it look like you say
no. They'll like get like one letter from each clip and just edit it together to make one word. Yeah,
seamless
no, I mean,
edit.
I feel like although they showed Danny looking stupid there, what he was saying ended up being right. And at the end of the day, he now looks smarter there. Whereas in Franny's idea would leave them at more of a disadvantage to their biggest ops in the game, which is obviously the Ratu people. Yeah, what do you guys think? God.
Franny's idea makes sense on paper, right? But in context
now that it's over,
they just betrayed that other tribe. You can't work with them. You can't just like flip flop back with them.
Right.
They don't trust them anymore.
See, now
trust them, are they?
Next round, it could work now because the Orange tribe feels burned by the Tika tribe now twice, basically.
Yeah. I mean, do they also not feel burned by what's it called?
Yeah, it's burned. It's equally burned.
Right. It's not really. It's more like the Ratu's been burned twice by Tika, whereas they've only been burned once by the Soka people. So we'll see.
I guess.
Like if it could backfire so bad if Danny and Franny now try to take out Yam Yam and then they find out about it. Now you have no allies.
Oh yeah. No, but if it works, then you get out all the players right now who we all think are going to win because
on paper it makes sense,
right? No, but like at the end of the day, even if something doesn't make, even if it's risky, you'd eventually they're going to have to take out Carolyn, Carson, and Jan.
No,
they're going to win the game.
We both agree though. Like after this one, if they got past this one, now it's time to take those guys out.
Right. Agree. I just think whoever can start to take them out and start to rise to power behind them, I think has the best shot because right now, I mean, we've all said it at one point or another. This purple tribe is their edits are great. Their games are great. I mean, I don't know about physical threats, but they have
one of the worst physical competitors in Survivor history.
Yeah, I mean, and by the way, chat, if you guys have questions, put them in chat. Put a question mark at the end, and we'll eventually get to them.
Spencer won't forget to read them.
As long as Franny and Matt don't end up together, I'm fine with whatever. You know what I'm saying?
I hope Franny ends up with Gay Matt. That'd be
I'm just kind of a hater like that. Well,
Gay Matt would be crazy,
married and stuff though.
Anyone else think it was funny that Yam Yam and Carolyn both climbed the rock successfully, and Matt's probably at home crying?
Mm-hmm.
I come back and you guys are talking about Gay Matt and homo. I don't even know
what.
No one said.
No, they were saying.
I was just saying how Yam Yam.
Like, I'm such an idiot because I couldn't climb up the rock without getting myself injured. It's probably because I'm gay. Oh my god.
I mean, Yam Yam's gay too, and he's out of shape. How did Yam Yam climb a rock successfully?
Probably because he was a freaking dumbass and fell off the rock. I don't know.
Because he's a superior player. Because he's just a superior player. Sorry.
No, it's kind of true.
But... I mean, it's true, but it's also like. Well, you're fat.
Wait, hold on. But like, guys, do we think like Gathu's like? It's just like a thought experiment. Is Gathu like a better player than Jam Jam, or is Jam Jam better than Gathu? I think Jam Jam's better, but I think they're probably the two best.
We haven't had the same sample size though.
Play obviously, but I think just off of instinct and in a vacuum, I guess.
Jam Jam hasn't given one of his allies a fake idol and has not fallen off a rock and almost killed himself.
Oh yeah, that's the thing. Kane went home, right? And he had. I
think it is gameplay.
Jamie thinks
Bitter sees Matt falling off the rock is one of the dumbest moves in Survivor.
If you can't survive on Survivor, you're not gonna win.
I mean, that is like fair enough. I feel like I don't know. It's
Matt probably is like one of the at least top 5 players if he would have stayed on the season.
But we'll never know now because I hope he never comes back.
And that's not saying that much. Though.
Jonathan asks us: is Danny going to be Jonathan, where he goes to the finals and gets no votes? Is he talking about Jonathan from 42?
Yeah,
Jonathan didn't go to the finals.
I think he's saying what probably would have happened to Jonathan if he did go.
I think he would have got him like one.
I mean, see, I think the big difference is Jonathan doesn't make a move in 42. Like Danny has made a move now, so I feel like although his edit's shitty, if in some miracle he were to get to the end, I think he has a really good shot.
Jonathan did one move. He made the 2 girls use their idols in that one tribal council where
but he didn't make a move like Danny's is a move where like Danny.
Jonathan's. Was very dumb, so I'm not surprised.
Well, that also, but I'm talking about like in reality, like Danny can make no more moves, and he has the best resume so far. Like it isn't even close.
Well, it's really about perception, and this cast perceives Danny as a threat.
Right, exactly.
No one perceived.
Which means
everyone
if he
said
gets
they
to the
didn't perceive
final, then he'll
Jonathan as a
probably
threat.
win.
Oh, yeah, I think he would have a chance. I mean, I think they would argue it. I'm not saying he would win.
Well, I think he has
gets
zero
votes,
chance to get to the end. I mean, I think he has zero
Oh
chance
yeah, he's not
to get
going.
to the
Yeah,
end
he's not.
because of edit. But
Yeah.
I think if he got there, he wins. He wins against
Who are the
anybody.
front
I don't know.
runners
I don't
in it
know if
aren't
he
on Tika?
guarantees wins.
I think he wins against almost everybody and has a really good shot against Carson.
I think he basically wins against everyone. Like
Yeah.
actually, like
Yeah.
what has Carson done? Like besides being the middle,
Right,
of
but
Carson has
we're
nothing.
obviously inferring that if Carson were to get to the end, he would make a giant move, right? I mean,
I think if Carson's gonna get to the end, wasn't there a rumor that there's gonna be a final two? Was it this season or next season? I forgot what the.
I think it's
season
this
was.
season that people are saying because the jury started at some weird spot. I don't know, something stupid like that.
The jury didn't start at the weird spot. They started after the 7th vote out. That's how it always is.
Something dumb like that.
A bunch of silly gooses, if you ask me.
I don't know. We'll see. Mr. Fuzz says, do you think Survivor will ever allow another villain winner? Bitter, take this one since you're our resident villain.
You are the villain.
Well, it's a complicated question. It's like who perceives this person as a villain, right? Because some people would perceive someone like Shan as a villain, but I think a lot of the Survivor producers and other fans think she was a hero. I think someone like that could win. Where some people think that person's a villain, and other people don't.
Right,
that kind of villain could win.
There's, I mean, aside from maybe Heidek, there really has not been winners. All right, Sky's gonna get kicked for that one. Yeah,
but they don't usually perceive
aside from
their villains as winners.
Yes,
like,
true. But I think in general, production will never make someone a full villain if they win, aside from maybe Heidek, and even then,
even Heidek was not shown as a villain on the season.
Right. It's just, of course, that like in general, he seems like a cold-hearted guy, and of course, his like intro confessional is like the coldest confessional I've ever seen from a winner about how he's like used car sales. Like, come on, that's just so slimy. But
like still, they still try to show like positives about him. When you win, they show positives about you. That's just the way it is. If you're you're like Russell Hantz and you don't win, then they'll show all the negatives. Right.
You know? I was just gonna say it isn't necessarily about showing all the positives, just not showing like those bad moments where you just look a little stupid, just a teeny tiny bit dumb as hell. You know, and I feel like those like small moments that they like showed of Danny in this episode where he just didn't look so good there. It isn't that he said anything stupid. He just didn't look so good. And it's like those like moments are not shown for the winners. It's just not there.
It's different too, because that's a different okay, so like Russell's villainous is like how good he is.
I just had a case of the snifflies, bro. What the heck?
All right, back out, Bitter. Go ahead.
Danny's like villainous kind of moment tonight was not shown in like, wow, he's like really ruthless at this game. It was more like,
it's like subtle. No, it's subtle, which is, in my opinion, kind of worse. I feel like you can like recover from a villainous act. Think like Mike from 30, where he does that bad thing where it's like, oh my god, like why would you? But then it's like if it's just subtle grading the entire season where you're just seen as like a just slightly like kind of how they did Jonathan here as Jonathan was saying in chat, where they just show slowly over time him just act more like an asshole. And it's really not good for your winning chances because the asshole usually doesn't win. So yeah,
that's really the biggest part of editing is not what they show, is what they don't show.
Right. I mean, because I guarantee you, there's so like okay, I'm gonna just like think of a random win, like Tyson from Blover's Water. Here we go. I'm sure there's something so stupid or so like mean or just cruel that he did that we just never saw and never even came close to making the show, because it just, why would you show Tyson like that?
That's actually a good pick, because Tyson is probably the most villainous winner if you think about it. In terms of, he does get still some, and like when they eat all the coconuts and stuff, like that's villainous.
Right.
I mean, to be fair, isn't Sandra actually the most villainous winner? I mean, she was on the villain tribe. Like, let's
Tyson was on the villain tribe too.
I know, but Tyson didn't win when he was on the villain tribe. So Sandra won when she was in the villain tribe. So she's
they always make Sandra seem like she's in the right when she's mad at people.
Right.
Well, I'm just saying, like, we're talking like, you know.
She also goes against the two biggest villains in Survivor history. She just happens to get like that perfect setup there. I feel like it's a bit different there.
I mean, I don't even think Sandra should have been on the season, but that's just
right.
That's
I mean, Sandra obviously, but I think both times. Well, the first time against Lil, probably, but
game changers because she'd won twice by then. But you know,
if Lil won, she would have been the biggest villain to win.
I hated Lil so much. I'm so glad she won. I hope she has a terrible life. Like,
wow, she's probably like really old now. I'm barely
good. Like, old as hell, bro.
Good, bro.
Lil's a great character. Like, she made that season interesting.
She made that season interesting because she was I hated her so much.
people like forget like how important it is to have that like Jamie figure who you just hate. Like not like the person you're
She's
like, oh,
worse.
like oh, I hate them, but no, it's like they're actually like fun to watch. Like no, someone who you're just like, get off my TV screen. As annoying as it is to have one person, just one like that each season, I think is really important.
The key is though is that they're surrounded by people you do like.
Right, exactly. So you're just like, oh my god, I hate this. Like think like Abby Maria. Like there's not one person who watched that season who didn't at least for a second think, God, like this girl, she just sucks. Like she's
I
just
actually
not
want
a
to
nice
murder
person.
her. Like I'm not.
Like-
Even
like-
I never
I
thought
wanted to
that,
commit a
honestly.
crime.
Because I
What
hated
you-
RC. I don't know that. So.
You hated art,
but
probably because
I
you're
think
racist.
I think
Maybe.
that's kind of the
Said
point
maybe.
is that like you're supposed to hate Abby Maria, but then you're really supposed to hate RC because she's being even more of a bitch. And
I kind of hated Abby Maria more because she's just annoying. Her voice
Abby
is
was
annoying.
I think
I don't
more
know if that's
annoying-
racist, but like I like.
Well, Abby is like
Caramello.
in that
was it Caramello?
in that
it was
particular
Cambodia.
stupid.
Yeah. in that particular case, I feel like it's not that RC was supposed to be like edited worse. It's that RC was just supposed to be in that specific time period of the season shown to be worse. And then as you know, RC goes in, Abby stays here. It becomes worse and worse for Abby, where she just looks even more just evil. Like I mean, like just like annoying, you know, like in every facet of the word. But it brings me back to like the biggest flaw I think of this new era. It isn't the 26 days. It isn't the whole like
I think it is
dangerous players, whatever.
Yeah,
I really do think the cast just feels so much safer. I think the biggest problem is that you're seeing these casts full of like normal people. I always go back to Jesus Christ, Sky with these fucking ad libs. I always go back to Panama, where it's like you have the Kasaya Six, and you have all these crazy people, and then you have Suri and Aris, and it's like Suri and Aris, and even Suri, she's a little bit odd. I don't know to me.
So is Aris.
Right, but if everybody's Aris, if everybody's just a little bit weird, just a teeny tiny, like that's boring. That's boring to watch, and I do think that is what the new era is, where it's just like it's like all Arises.
Yeah, it is like
say
Aris,
Aris was kind of weird. Aris is like the most like
I think
he won like winner ever. Like you're like, oh yeah, Aris won. Remember that?
Yeah,
no,
but if you
no,
remember
I don't
him,
remember that
if you
'cause he
remember
was
him
born-
fan versus favorites though, he's a little weirder.
Yeah, he's
Aris was on fans versus favorites.
Yeah, but no, but
wait, no,
that's the thing.
That's what I meant.
That's why he's like a perfect comparison. All these people in this cast are just a little weird. They're not like crazy.
They're
Like, no
Aris.
one's nuts except for Carolyn. No one's really nuts. And I feel like that is a little bit of what we're lacking.
They're all
is
just
that
Aris
is
Vetuses.
right?
We do drugs.
Well, no, but yes, exactly. Like less Aris, more Vetus. People who like actually show emotion and you know what?
More criminals.
The one thing that I'm seeing that I did like it in this episode is when they were like beefing. Like it wasn't like outright beef at Tribal, but the tension felt higher, where it felt like people were just listening for the smallest thing. I forget who it was. Was it Heidi who was like, "Oh, so what you're saying is you don't," and like they were like, "Oh, but you did lie, and it's like that little pettiness between them. I would like the conflict to come out a little bit more, be a little bit more outright, and I think in a OG season that would have been a screaming match at Tribal, but I'll take that. It's something to build on here. I mean, you know,
when are we gonna see a fight again? I want to see a
right,
fight.
exactly.
Danny's getting pretty close to that old school style player, which I appreciate. I just think he's doing a little bit of mistakes where he's saying things he should be saying in his confessional out loud. Yeah. Like when he says, "I'm not actually a scout," you don't tell everyone you just lied on purpose. Like you say that in your confessional. Like I told him I'm a scout's honor, but I'm not a scout. That's funny.
Mm-hmm.
But like saying it to everybody at Tribal, I think that's not the smartest move.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as much as I appreciate what he's doing, he is not serving himself in the game for sure.
I mean, everyone, to be fair, broke Scout's honor because they all voted for Kane. But
yeah, you're right. He set out the challenge. Yeah, true. Question:
we all know that didn't mean anything.
Do you think the episode where Franny accidentally votes out Matt? Because
she's the reason why, because she won the challenge and made a tribe safe.
She didn't have a vote. She didn't have
but it's her fault.
They're saying like if she just dropped out, because she said like, oh, if I just dropped out, then that would be in the game and I could.
Right,
like,
I got you, Sky. I got it.
I'm so
sad. Wait, Sky, what is it?
Yeah. Say it again, Sky. We actually need the whole explanation again. Mr. Fuzz says another question. Do you think the episode where Franny gets Matt voted out would have been edited differently if it had aired in an earlier season?
What?
I don't think so.
It probably still would have been gushy, like, oh, look at true love breaking apart.
I'm so glad that happened.
I think that episode, as gushy and as cringy as it was, I do think it serves a purpose here. It starts the beef. And I think at the end of the day, the beef has been the best thing about the season. Having clear sides, it's very refreshing. As boring as the strategy can get at times, because it is a little bit predictable, I prefer this because it's the blueprint for a better season when there's sides. There's people with stakes, not just ever shifting, what do they call them, voting blocks. Like that doesn't work.
I mean, they're talking about that next week. There's no
Yeah,
alliances.
I get
really.
it, but they
Alliances don't
but
exist anymore.
talk is cheap, right? At the end of the day, they have a beef, and that hasn't happened in a long time. Like a serious beef that not only is in the game, but is also, like as far as arguments go at tribal, like that has not happened in this new era. So
I think that's actually a problem with
definitely enjoy that.
Survivor is the no alliance. That's like one of the best parts of Survivor is alliances
Yeah.
stick, like not like a huge alliance, but like three
Well,
people sticking
but
together.
but
That's
no,
all.
but it isn't even the sticking together part. Just alliances in general, and then you can break them. But to break them, we have to have them first. We can't have voting blocks that get broken, right?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. But I don't like breaking apart every week, like okay, I worked with you
Like
for
the
3 weeks,
voting
now
blocks
time to
thing,
switch
like
over.
from Cambodia.
That's what I
is that-
just said, Bitter. That's what I just
Yeah, I
said.
know, but I said it better.
Right. Okay, great. But
You know what?
in general, I feel like having alliances that can then be broken is much more fun than watching a voting block get broken after a week. It's just like at
Well,
the end of the day, in this, my mind goes to like seasons like Winners at War and Game Changers. It makes it so hard to edit the season in a way that you really care because that strategy is so jumbled.
there was voting blocks in Winners at War?
and oh my god, the ad libs. And
What do you
it's
mean?
like
What's an ad lib?
you're like skirt in the background.
Well, I said there's voting blocks in Winners at War. I don't remember that.
But it's like to me, like seasons like that, and
I mean,
even like you can kind of tilt in Edge of Extinction as well. These seasons where the alliances to me don't feel stable at all. It's a lot harder to follow things, and it makes the game a lot to me less enticing because you can never really tell who's friends with who.
Winners at War might have been the last where there was an actually alliance that lasted the whole time with Sarah and Tony.
Right. But then again,
That was
like
like two
duo,
people though.
Yeah, but
I know,
it's a
that's what I'm
duo,
saying.
right?
It was a duo.
like
It wasn't trio. It wasn't
that's
a
the best we
squad.
got.
Okay?
But Bitter, like I think we're maybe kind of have a disconnect because I'm not even talking about seeing a duo or a trio. I'm talking about let's just start with groups. You guys can flip each other all you want, but can we just start with groups so we at least have a baseline for who's flipping on who? You know what I mean?
My more problem is no one really feels connected. Like the best part of Winners at War was when Sarah and Tony had to go up against each other, like, right? Because you like these two people really care about each other.
Right.
Now I feel like no one really cares about each other. And I think that really impacts the 26 day aspect.
I see what you mean. And it is totally important. The reason I think my point is a bit more important. Think like, for example, Heroes vs. Villains. That whole season was based off of at the merge, that giant tribal in which we have two clear sides. It's very clear. And then from there throughout the merge, we get flips on each side, but we have to have the sides. If there's no sides and everyone, let's say it's just Poverty Amanda and some randos get together, it's like that's not fun. Like it's fun to have sides that can then be broken.
It's really risky though, because having sides can easily leave every season with pagonging, which makes it predictable and boring.
But I think part of kind of detriment, but also a success of the new era is there isn't pagong. There's never going to be a pagonging ever again. So
yeah, I feel like they overcorrect it.
Right, exactly. Where now there isn't even tribes to be pagonged anymore. That stick together at the merge, which is annoying.
Yeah, they got to find a balance between having a pagonging and then having everyone just flip on each other every episode.
That's why, to me, I feel like the middle school was that balance where you went to the merge and it was still tribes versus tribe, but then people would flip. It's like, but only like 3 or 4 people in the entire season were smart enough to flip. The rest of them were too dumb to flip. And it was perfect. It was a perfect like middle spot from like Kagian to like. 30,
yeah, it was like early 20s where like they were trying to figure out fixing the pagonging. And I agree, they kind of fixed that in the 30s.
Right, like from 25 to 33 to me is that sweet spot where there's enough passive players, like think Ken from the 33, think like these people who are passive enough, think Trish from Kagian, these passive players that will stay, and then there was a few smart players who would flip. Nowadays, everyone wants to be Tony, and when everyone wants to be Tony, nobody's Tony, right? So that's my little rant, whatever, So, but yeah, I don't know. This season to me is improving on the failures from the past 3, and especially the 41 and 42. And I think the best thing that it can do is can continue to have great tribals. because at the end of the day, the tribals save the episode. Even if the episode's mid, if the tribal's good, it's good.
I don't think we're getting many great tribals. I think we get one more good tribal where Danny goes, and then everyone else is left is like a bunch of goats.
I disagree. I think the Carson boot is going to be good. I think the Jam boot. Well, yeah, but we obviously have to assume that the entire Tika tribe is not going to get there in one piece.
Why not?
You really think that the entire Tika tribe is going to go or going to be at the finale? Really?
It's possible. Like I think it was interesting.
Final five, we're going to have all 3 Tika members because one of them
you got to get rid of Danny, get crazy. You.
Yeah, fine, whatever.
And then
in the next 3 episodes,
I guess that is the problem. Because the other 4 people after Danny, like that are on the opposite sides of the Tika tribe, are kind of goats. So I guess they could turn on each other.
Right. So again, these crazy blindsides, and again, it could not be Danny next episode, but we're saying in the next 3 episodes before the finale, we are gonna have to see 3 blindsides. It's gonna be Danny for one of them, probably Carson or Jam or both. And then one other rando, maybe like Jamie's big blindside can come up here.
If I'm Tika, I want to keep. I think they made the right decision tonight because you want to keep Danny because all the threats are on Tika, and there's one other threat which is Danny. So as long as you keep Danny, all the focus will be on them and not you. So that's why I think Yam made the right decision when he was like, "We got to take out Kane tonight," and Carolyn's like, "No, I want to take out Danny," which was the most weirdest argument. She's like, "You want to take someone out because they're sneaky? That's stupid." And she's like, "I want to take him out because I'm just tired of him." It's like,
yeah, she's calling his argument stupid and too simple, but she's making the super simple argument. So,
and if we're looking at editing, I think that's interesting. They gave the win to Yam in the edit.
John asked, who do you think will be voted out next week? I mean, you have to check out our power ranking, but just off of gut right now, who is voted out next week? Not the last place in the power rankings. I'll go Jamie.
You contrarian. I just want to say this. I take back what I said. I want Franny and Matt to get together, be like, a couple for about a year, and then go through like a really bad breakup, like Jesus someone Christ. Cheats or like something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they get polygamous and they bring in Yam.
Yeah,
and then Yam gets pregnant by Matt.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
But I just want the breakup's like really bad, and they're both just
guys. What do you? I'm curious. I'm specifically kind of for Bitter because he's always the one who hates everybody. What do you think? Because I thought that they did a really good job here of making us care about Kane in some way, shape, or form after a season where we were not really supposed to care about that entire tribe.
I feel like we were getting like the very beginning of caring about Kane.
Right. It would have been nice to kind of start this edit at the merge and then have Kane go out here. Yeah. Kind of similar to how they like started Matt's edit at episode 2 and then he goes out at what episode 6 or 7 or whatever. I feel like that's the way to do it there. To have this is a little bit too late. But then again, maybe he just literally did not give them content.
I think Kane's a character that would have benefited from a 39-day season of Survivor.
Yeah. Yep.
Kane never voted correctly, so
yeah.
Which
Kane,
it is interesting.
Kane,
this far into
Kane
the season,
is to me. I said it a few podcasts ago. I think he's on paper in a vacuum the worst player on this entire season, other than someone who I can't think of right now. It was somebody else. Was it Jamie?
Josh is pretty bad where you had the fake idol.
No. It wasn't that. It was somebody else. It was Jamie or somebody else. I think it might have been Jamie who I said was worse.
Was it Maddie, the person that figuring out?
No.
I mean, her strategy wasn't bad.
It wasn't Bruce or Maddie or Claire.
I mean, Bruce's strategy to bust his head open was pretty dumb.
Yeah, but I think just like Bruce doesn't count as a cast member.
It's because he's black.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah. It's messed up.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like it could have been Kane as the word.
I stubbed my toe. That's why I made that.
Stubbed your toe sitting down.
You're literally stationary and you stubbed.
I stubbed my toe on my chair.
You're kicked out again. Okay, 3rd time's a charm. What do you guys? Or no, not you guys. Sorry. What do you Bitter think of like the just? I guess. Are you hopeful for the end? Like, are things ticking up for you, or are you still down? You're hating this season right now.
It's probably like somewhere in the middle where it's kind of like a straight line on how I feel it. Like nothing's gonna really change how I end up feeling. I will say,
like, if you like had to have some emotion, like, is there anything you're excited for? Like, it's like obviously, I know you're not
really because I know Danny's going out and they're giving like he's a dick edit,
right?
That's always frustrating to watch that. I will say I'm enjoying Yam stuff. He's the only person I think I enjoy when I when he's on besides Danny.
Yeah. I mean, I think like just watching Jam, like especially like in his confessionals, like talk like how players used to talk in their confessionals, like shitting on them, like just shitting on each other.
Yeah, and I like the whole like this person voted for me, they're gone. This person voted for me, they're gone. It's just it's a personality.
It's funny because people will be like, "Oh my god, Savannah Spencer over there, they hate Gabe." And we're literally saying here the best character.
You sound like
to
a
watch.
trans woman.
Exactly. Yep. I do. But we're saying the best person to watch is Jam. It isn't even really close, to be honest. I mean,
yeah, I know we're so biased that we're saying the best character is the guy who does drag.
Literally, bro. Who said he wants to do drag?
And he's gay or whatever. He is.
Yeah, you'll never get the other side saying like the big jock guy who's like kind of like alpha is the best player. You'll never get that.
Exactly.
It's so cool.
Is there anything else you guys want to talk about before we just go to y'all's universes? Good.
No.
Good to go. All right.
Can't think of anything.
Sky, what's going over there in these Sky?
Did we answer all the questions? I know you forget that all the time.
Oh yeah, you're right. I do.
I know me if you pop in the comments for a second.
Do you think it'd be better if they casted a Philip type character?
No, because Philip's character, if you remember, he was very like called out people for like racism and stuff. And
I mean, I would take that for Philip. I mean, Philip is
that
great
worked back then, but now it'd be so much drama that now.
He literally like said something like what his name was Steve was racist. Like he's
like he called me crazy or whatever, the crazy black guy.
It's always and he dropped a hard ER.
That's interesting back then, but now it'd be like everyone would like buy into the narrative and it'd be awful.
They'd be like, "Oh my god, Philip is speaking facts."
And you can even tell like Philip, I think would even admit like that was his that strategy on his part. He wasn't like being like for real.
I think Philip would admit that was stupid is probably a better way to put it. I don't think Philip still stands on that. But then again, Philip was in the Black Voices panel for RHAP. So
he's bought into all that stuff.
If you're in that group, you probably have zero spot.
He watches BET on the daily, bro. Oh my God, he does.
I think we covered the rest of the questions. I'm looking for question marks. I think we're good. Do you think Survivor is no longer racist because Kane is voted out?
Kane identifies as a black woman, so.
Oh yeah, is this the first white dude they voted out?
We should also mention that it's been like 5 dudes in a row gone.
Yeah, facts. And notice how we don't care. It is not like our concern at all, because when we look at a season, the last thing that would come in is, oh no, a guy got like, that's not what we do. But of course, it just shows how ridiculous these people are on Twitter. As soon as one woman goes, that's the only thing they're focused on. They're so focused on people's identities and not on what they actually say and who they actually are.
They're playing dumb because they know that in Survivor, women go home early because of challenge weakness, and then men go home after the merge because they're threats physically. It happens every season, almost every season.
It's so dumb.
So like pretend it doesn't is playing stupid.
Because their argument is, well, the women just lose quicker, even though they all lose equally, and they have I think there's actually more female winners than there is male. But like they say it doesn't matter because the women lose quicker. Who cares who loses quicker? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you're on the jury or not. There's 17 losers and 1 winner. Who cares? Really, just
look at all the final fives. As long as it's pretty balanced, like why are you upset?
Right, exactly. Agreed. I feel like at the end of the day, if you get to the finale and it's not unbalanced one side or the other, it's a success. That's it. Period.
Yeah, and it also leaves for occasional outliers where you do get like 5 women or 5 guys. It's whatever, you know.
Last question we have. Lil Murphy says, "Are bald players good players?"
Tony, yeah.
I mean, Tony. I'm thinking Philip Shepard is a go. No, I'm just kidding. It's like the worst.
Hold on. Philip could have won if he played the finale correctly.
I disagree. I think Philip.
If he would have said this was all my strategy to be an asshole, I think he would have won because everyone did not want Rob to win.
I don't.
Oh yeah, they really wanted them to give reasons. Like they did not want to vote for Rob because Philip and the other girl had like such terrible.
Well, the other girl was never winning, so it's really Philip or Rob. And there's
it's because she literally said, "I got here because of Rob." Dude, like she was
right.
Like,
Natalie was smarter and played it well, where she's like, "Yeah, I brought him on purpose." They could have given it to her too.
She could win. Doing like the whole Natalie Cole thing, I still think at the end of the day, Rob was going to win that 9 times out of 10. One, because those players would have never done that, and in because that's the point. He took them for that reason.
Took them on, yeah, exactly.
Right, and then also, of course, that I think even if they did, the jury wouldn't. Just the jury has so much lack of that one.
If you remember, Zapatera really did not like returnees. They really did not want returning.
I get it, but at the end of the day, like. I feel like Zapatero would be so mad at them for bringing Rob that they would punish them by voting for Rob, basically, no matter what. There.
I'm just surprised I remember Zapatero. I barely ever remember tribe names.
Well, I mean, it's you know why because they actually stuck together and were at the merge and were a serious thing. Who's the fucking yellow tribe on 41? Like right now, go
Yellow tribe.
Like no one cares because they all just dispersed after.
Was there a yellow tribe?
Yeah, it was the Yasi.
It was
tribe.
like Yasi.
Yeah, so it's like, and you know why you don't know, it's because as soon as they got through that, I think it's the first tribal where Sydney goes, they all just disperse and flip each other. It's so stupid. It's like, stick together, guys. Come on.
They should name their tribes better. Like that's the gay boy tribe.
Well, I think
Carson's on that tribe.
They're gonna run out of names eventually because they're in Fiji for so long. Like the names used to be like islands, like
use all the Fiji words.
They're gonna like use all the Fijian words. They're gonna get like, oh, it means stick and.
I don't think they're gonna run out of. I feel like they would probably.
No, I'm just saying like they're gonna have like some kind of stupid tribe names. I think.
Oh yeah,
well,
I mean, we had UA.
Stick in
we had UA for a tribe name. Two letters. I mean, come on now. Yeah. We are getting real. We are, I don't know, probably like wind. I don't know, some shit like that.
I mean, I'm surprised they don't just call them like Yellow Tribe now after they call them like 41, 42.
Probably because they like the idea of like being able to say like the FOA 4 or whatever. Of course, nowadays that never happens because no one sticks together, but whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just happy it happened. I guess if it's just going to disappear forever, whatever.
What's our thoughts on the Mario movie? I didn't see it.
Thoughts on the Mario movie?
I've seen it. It's a good movie.
My friend rizzed up bringing his girl to the Mario movie. He rizzed up his girlfriend at the Mario movie. That's right. I know. It's absolutely. Oh, he just.
I mean, that's kind of tough. Like,
I know it is. It is tough. I was like, wow. Mario movie is crazy there.
No, me and my friend saw it, and then we went to get McDonald's afterwards, and we almost died in a car crash because he's really bad at driving. We're not going to let him drive again.
Anyways, continuing on, what's going on?
Speaking of car crashes.
Yeah. Speaking of car crashes and disasters, Sky, how's your channel going?
It's actually doing really good. So
I know it's always doing amazing because Sky is an amazing creator. What's going on there in the Sky Lander universe?
Like I said, I post a new vid. I'm trying to make the upload schedule a bit more good. But
he's doing it, guys. He's doing it.
But new Surviving video, I think either this weekend or like on Monday. So
big W.
I just got done with state testing, so give me a little break.
Giant W. What is going on in the Bitter universe? Could there possibly be a video, or are we waiting till the end of the season?
Continue. Speaking of car crashes, you must be thinking like a woman drives my channel because it's a disaster.
Yeah, you definitely are lacking there on the consistency front for sure. You might be the least consistent YouTuber of all time. But you know what?
I'm consistent. That's okay. Consistently quality.
You are consistently inconsistent, which is at least better than people who are black. Okay, anyway, so
Whoa,
guys, what? Anyways, so guys, none of this happens without you guys. Without you guys, we're all just weird guys speaking into weird microphones. And if that's, I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.